This is a 25-minute sequence to stimulate the kidneys and urinary bladder meridians. So let's begin by taking a deep in-breath and an out-breath. Allowing the in-breath to be a moment of pause and the out-breath to be a softening. And then connecting in at the level of the body, experiencing any sensations felt in this moment. And then noticing any feelings of the heart, whether pleasant or neutral or unpleasant. And allowing things just to be as they are. Thirdly, we notice what's happening in the head mind. Any thoughts or ideas or images moving through the mind. And simply letting things be. And then taking hands together at the heart, we set our intention, we make our commitment to practice. Making the deep wish that from this moment I wish to cultivate mindful awareness of my body, heart and mind, knowing it's for my own deepest well-being and for the benefit of all those whose lives mind touches. So we start by coming into butterfly pose, where we can sit with the sits bones on a blanket or a low cushion, and then bringing the feet forward into a diamond shape. If the knees are floating above the earth, then just resting them on some cushions to support them. And gently easing forward, lengthening through the spine. Lifting the lower ribs so the diaphragm has space to move. And then coming into your butterfly pose. To ensure a relaxed experience, we can rest the head on a pillow or clenched fists, or bending the elbows, we can rest the chin in the hands and allowing a sense of ease as we soften and deepen, remembering the 3 principles of a yin practice. The first is to come into a pose at an appropriate edge, a place where we feel sensation, but it doesn't feel risky. Secondly, we become still, relaxing the muscles, so that we move into the deeper layers of the fascia, the ligaments. And thirdly, we hold the pose for a while, maybe for 3 to 5 minutes. But if at the start this feels too much, then we can begin with a minute and then increase as we find the connective tissue in the body stretches, lengthens. And as we hold this pose, we can track the meridians, remembering that the kidney meridian begins at the little toe in each foot, runs through the sole, through the arch, and up the inside of the knees and the legs, entering the torso near the tailbone. It then moves along the ligaments of the lower spine and connects internally with the bladder and kidneys. Externally, it moves over the abdomen and internally flows through the liver, diaphragm and lungs. It moves through the throat and ends at the root of the tongue. The urinary bladder meridian starts at the inside of the eyes, moves over the forehead across the crown and enters the brain, one of the only meridians to move through the brain. It then runs down the back body parallel to the spine, with one branch going into the body at the lumbar spine and once again connecting with the kidneys and the bladder. The outer branches run all the way down the backs of the legs and end at the little toes. And when it's time to release, gently take an in-breath, coming up, allowing the spine to lengthen back into its upright position, and then slowly stretching out the legs in front of you and resting back on your hand. And our next pose is saddle pose. In order to stimulate the kidney meridian. So begin by sitting on your feet with your knees in full flexion and slightly apart, leaning back on the hands, only deepening into this pose as much as you feel able. So allowing an exaggerated curve with the lower back, and then gently finding your way, maybe onto the forearms, or maybe resting the shoulders onto a cushion. But as long as you feel sensation, as long as you find your way to your own edge, then that is as deep as your pose needs to be. So once you're resting back, we can cultivate prana or chi, moving it through the body. So on the in-breath, invite that energy all the way down into the belly. And on the out-breath, imagine that energy flowing through any places of sensation, of tension, smoothing and soothing the body. Keep the awareness on the in-breath and the out-breath. Allowing our yin practice to be a meditation practice, where our attention is focused on the sensations in the body, holding the mind present in this moment. And when it's time to come out of the pose, placing your hands next to your sides where the elbows have been, and then on an inhalation engaging the abdominal muscles and coming up the same way as you went back. And then easing out of the pose to lie on your belly with your legs outstretched for a moment before proceeding to Sphinx. So our Sphinx pose stimulates the kidney meridian as it flows through the sacrolumbar area and stretches the ligaments along the spine. Lying on your belly, push up to rest on the elbows, which are shoulder width apart and positioned just forward of the shoulder line. Bringing your palms together in front of you, and allowing yourself to rest upright without slumping. Feeling the back arch in a gentle sway that creates length along the anterior of the spine, with a gentle compression in the posterior side. Seeing if you can allow the buttocks and legs to relax, as long as you feel no sharp or electrical pain in the spine. If you do, move the elbows further forward so that the ribs can also carry some of your weight, or gently engage the inner thighs. These passive back bends stimulate kidney chi, revitalizing our energy supply, And we can draw breath deep down into the lower belly, remembering that breath and energy are like two sides of a hand, intimately connected, yet not quite the same. When we draw in a deep in-breath, we feel the air move from the nostrils, down the back of the throat, into the lobes of the lungs. And as we contract the diaphragm, we push the organ stored in the belly downwards, giving a sense of breathing into the lower abdomen. We're giving the organs an internal massage. So deepening the breath, feeling the belly not only moving out in front, but also filling the back body, creating space around the kidneys. A sense that we're drawing in an orb of energy that's radiating out in front, behind, and to both sides. If you'd like to intensify the back bend, you can gently straighten the arms for seal pose, spreading the fingers wide and pointing them out to the sides of your mat. Feeling that deeper arc in the lower back. And remembering that we're moving chi in two different ways. Either stretching the front of the body, coaxing chi to flow, or compressing at the back, blocking the flow of chi temporarily, so that once we release from the pose, it floods through as if a dam has been unblocked. The river of energy is flowing through the body. And to come out of the pose, gently placing the hands under the chest, and on an inhalation, pushing the upper body away from the earth and settling back into child's pose. Child's pose is our counter pose, and we can get a greater stretch in the lower back by keeping the knees together, moving the hips towards the feet, and the head relaxing down towards the floor, or resting on a pillow or stacked palms. Staying in child's pose until you feel the energy releasing from the sphinx and a sense of ease returning to the lower back. And from child's pose, gently drawing the upper body upwards, sitting to one side of the feet and swinging the feet round and in front, so that you're sitting once again on the earth with legs stretched out in front of you. So we'll move now into half dragonfly. So taking the right foot into the left thigh, taking a deep breath in, and as you exhale, beginning to tilt the hips forward, maybe elevating the sitting bones on a cushion as you did in butterfly. And then placing your hands on the floor and sliding them forward until they're either side of the foot, or maybe bending the elbows and resting the chin in the palms of the hands. And so we attend to three aspects in a yin pose. Firstly, attending to safety, allowing the body to come to its edge, but making sure the sensations feel doable, interesting, so that we can bring an attitude of curiosity to our experience. If any sensation feels risky or electrical, then ease off or use some props to support the body. The second aspect we can attend to is our pranic cultivation, our movement of chi through the body. So as you lift the lower ribs forward, allowing the diaphragm to extend, we can draw the breath deep into the abdomen. And then on the out-breath, feeling it flowing along the meridian lines, maybe the back of the leg, along the spine, bringing a sense of ease into these areas of sensation. The third aspect is to use each yin pose as a training for the mind, recognizing that we can experience intensity of sensation without resistance or backing away. We can explore different sensations. And as we learn to be present with difficulty, with intensity, we build up an emotional resilience, as well as bring benefits to the body. And at the end of 3 minutes, gently drawing the torso upright and switching over the legs, letting the right leg now straighten in front and bending the left knee with the foot against the inner thigh. So once again, drawing the spine forward, tilting the pelvis, and then deepening the breath. Feeling it flow right down into the belly, and then softening and soothing the tighter tissues of the body as we exhale. Allowing the release of the out-breath to bring a sense of relaxation into the body. So remembering as far as possible to soften the musculature. Maybe the toes will drop out a little to the side as we release any holding in the leg. And then we allow time and gravity to ease us deeper into the pose, becoming aware of the first edge, and then over time, maybe we soften and deepen into another edge. Using both the sensations of the body and the flow of the breath to hold the mind steady in this moment, training it to remain present, whatever experiences are moving through the body, heart, or head-mind. During moments of stillness and silence, the mind may wander away into thinking, and that's completely normal and okay. We just recognize that we've moved away, and we bring the mind back to the next breath and to the sensations that we're currently experiencing in the body. The mind will move away time after time, but we simply recognize and escort it back to the present moment, recommitting to this practice, this wish to cultivate mindful awareness of each and every moment. And at the end of 3 minutes, gently straightening the spine, lifting the torso, and feeling that energy rebound as the places that have been stretched now can release. Bringing once again a sense of softness and ease. And from our half dragonfly, we move into a full forward bend, a pose that stimulates the bladder meridian as it flows down the back of the body and the backs of the legs. So as with all forward bends, maybe placing a cushion under the sitting bones if you have tight hamstrings or tighter lower back muscles. And then gently bending forward from the hips, allowing the spine to curve into a forward bend. If you need support for the neck, resting your forehead on a cushion placed on your legs so that you can release any sense of holding or tension. Remembering that the urinary bladder meridian flows through the brain, and so this forward bend, which is stimulating the bladder channel, allows for a calming effect on the nervous system. And maybe now exploring the breath a little deeper. As you inhale all the way down into the belly, softly activate the perineum, a gentle lifting at the base, as if it was a magnet inviting energy down into the ground of our being, our yin center. Then allowing the out-breath to flow out and taking a pause, experiencing how it feels to be completely still. The in-breath will draw in again when the body needs it, and then we can relax and soften on the out-breath, taking that momentary pause, exploring the experience of tranquility. And after 3 minutes in our forward bend, gently lifting the torso, leaning back on the hands, and allowing a sense of energy to melt down from the head and the shoulders all the way into the earth, releasing any tension. And then relaxing back into Shavasana, lying on your back, keeping the shoulder blades down away from the ears so that the heart can open. And softly resting the hands on the abdomen so that we can feel the body breathing, a sense of being breathed. You may like to move your legs a little wider apart than the hips, and then allowing the buttocks and the legs and the feet to relax completely, dropping the toes outwards. And once you've found your way into Shavasana, allowing the body to be completely still, recognizing that the mind can learn from the body. When the body is soft and relaxed, the mind too is more willing to settle down. So relaxing your attention with any more subtle sensations in the body, maybe a pulsation or vibration, recognizing that this is the invisible force, the formless chi, There may be tingling in the body, a feeling that we've been rejuvenated, as well as a natural quietening and calming effect on the nervous system. And mindfulness involves being very relaxed, but also aware simultaneously. A sense of remaining calmly alert, yet free from any involvement with thoughts or feelings or physical sensations. This experience of the natural state of awareness can be the most nourishing posture of all. And you can remain in Shavasana for as long as you have time for, maybe pausing the recording. And then when it's time for the practice to come to its end, gently bringing movement into the toes, into the fingers, allowing one knee followed by the other to draw up into the chest, and then rolling to whichever side seems to beckon. Finding your way back up into a cross-legged pose, sitting on a blanket or a cushion, and finding what's known as Sukhasana, a pose of ease, where we offer our dedication, maybe bringing hands together at the heart and making the deep, sincere wish that whatever benefit we've gained from practicing in this way, we offer out to all sentient beings in ever-widening circles. Namaste.